So how does a being of supreme wisdom and compassion actually appear in our world? I mean, is it like a birth, a sudden arrival from somewhere else? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating ancient text that uses these incredible metaphors to tackle that very riddle.
Our guide for this journey is the Sutra on the Manifestation of the Tathāgata. And Tathāgata is just another term for the Buddha. It kind of means one who has thus come and gone. This text, which was translated from Sanskrit into Chinese way back around the 3rd century, doesn't just tell a story. Nope. It uses this series of really powerful analogies to unpack one of the biggest questions in Buddhism.
So the whole thing kicks off with this absolutely mind-blowing cosmic event. The Buddha just emits this single ray of light from between his eyebrows, and poof, it fills the entire universe, stopping all suffering in its tracks and lighting up everything. Now, this isn't just for dramatic effect. It's the trigger for the entire teaching that's about to unfold. Right away, this mysterious light sparks a question. It's not just anyone asking, it's the bodhisattvas, beings who are already super far along the path to enlightenment. For them, this cosmic light show isn't just some miracle to sit back and watch. It's a phenomenon they need to understand.
And look, they're not just asking for a biography. They're digging into the very nature of enlightenment itself. How does something so transcendent show up in our reality? The rest of the sutra is basically the Buddha's answer to this huge, profound question.
So, how does the Buddha start his answer? Well, not with some complex, abstract philosophy, but with cause and effect. He first establishes that a Buddha showing up in the world is anything but random. The sutra explains that a Buddha's presence is the grand finale of an immense amount of purposeful work. It's the direct result of 10 specific causal factors that have been perfected over, countless eons of effort. And we're talking about things like making limitless vows to help every single living being, chasing wisdom with no end in sight, practicing tirelessly, and mastering all the clever ways to teach and help others. So the really crucial point here is that this manifestation is earned. It's not just a gift. Okay, so to really explain this complex idea, the sutra then shifts gears and uses a series of just brilliant metaphors. And the first one compares the Buddha's teaching to a great rain. This is what's called the Dharma rain. It's a metaphor for the universal, totally impartial nature of the teachings. It's a way for us to get our heads around how a single truth can apply to everyone, everywhere, with no exceptions. I want you to just picture a vast, nourishing rain that covers the entire world. The sutra says this rain has only one taste, a single flavor. And in the same way, the Buddhist teaching has one essential flavor, and that's the taste of liberation from suffering. But here's the key part. While the rain is exactly the same everywhere, its effect is totally different depending on what it falls on. It nourishes the tiniest blade of grass, a medium-sized shrub, and a towering ancient tree. Each plant soaks up just what it needs according to its own nature and its own capacity. And that just illustrates the point so perfectly, doesn't it? The Dharma has one taste, liberation. It falls on every single being, but how it's received, what it does, that depends entirely on the individual's readiness, their spiritual capacity. It helps everyone, but in different ways. All right, so from the rain, we move to the next great metaphor. This one shifts from the teaching itself to the nature of a Buddha's wisdom, and it compares it to the light of the sun. I mean, think about it. The sun doesn't play favorites, right? It just shines on everything without picking and choosing. And a Buddha's wisdom is just like that. It illuminates all of reality without prejudice. But the sutra presents a really fascinating sequence to how this all happens. So the text paints this picture. When the sun rises, its light first touches the very highest peaks, the great mountains like the mythical Mount Sumeru. This represents the great bodhisattvas, those beings with the highest spiritual attainment who are the first to perceive this profound wisdom. After lighting up those highest peaks, the light then cascades down. It hits the lesser mountains and starts to pour into the dark valleys below. This symbolizes how that wisdom then reaches other practitioners, people on different paths with all sorts of different levels of understanding. And then finally, that sunlight just spreads out across the entire flat plain, illuminating the whole world for absolutely everyone to see. And this shows how eventually this wisdom becomes accessible to all beings who are open and ready for it. And this, right here, is the punchline of the whole metaphor. The sun doesn't decide to shine on the mountains first. Its light is impartial. The sequence is just a matter of geography. In the same way, the Buddha's wisdom is universal. The difference in who gets it first is all about their own spiritual height, their readiness to receive it, not some preference from the source. Now, the final metaphor. Wow. It's maybe the most awe-inspiring of them all. It compares the totality of a Buddha's qualities to the great ocean. To get us to feel the sheer scale of this, the sutra gives us this staggering image. It says that the water from over 15,000 great rivers, flowing from all the continents of the world, pours into the ocean, continuously, and yet the ocean never overflows. It just accepts it all. So let's put these side by side. The ocean is immeasurably deep and vast. A Buddha's wisdom is limitless and profound. The ocean contains countless treasures. A Buddha possesses infinite virtues. And just like all the water in the ocean has the single taste of salt, all the teachings have the single taste of liberation. It just makes these abstract ideas feel so tangible. And this brings us right to the sutra's ultimate conclusion, its final mic drop. The text says the Buddha's body, his very essence, isn't a physical thing that travels around. It's a presence that permeates absolutely everything, kind of like space itself. So, what does this all mean? It means the manifestation of a Buddha isn't about some person showing up from a distant place and then leaving when they die. No, it's described as an effortless, natural reflection that appears within the world out of pure compassion for the sole purpose of helping beings who are ready to see it. And this leaves us with this incredible riddle to chew on. If a Buddha is as omnipresent and unmoving as space, just a fundamental part of reality itself, then what is this manifestation that we perceive? Maybe the riddle isn't really about the Buddha's arrival at all, but about our own capacity to finally see what's already been here the whole time.